Let me just find the correct group. There we are. Cool. Hi Liz, hi Alison, thank you for joining me. Let me just pop this in. Oh, in a minute, let's get rid of the sound on there, otherwise we'll have a horrible echo and that might not be quite what we want. Let me stick that there, that there. Cool. So I've gone live a little early. Let me just, oops, she says throwing stuff around. Let me just declutter some of this mess. There we are. Otherwise we'll be in a right flipping pickle. Put them where I can get to them easily. Get rid of that, get rid of that. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. All sorts. Good evening Debbie, good evening Faith. Thank you. Could someone just tell me that you can see and hear me? I think you probably should be able to. And we'll start desorting some of this. I've got, as ever, more stuff here than I know what to do with. Actually, that's not quite true, but hey ho. Let's just have some of these out of the way. I'll pop those over there and pop these into the elements that I'm wanting to use them. Thanks Alison. Good evening Martin. Thank you for joining me this evening, darling. I hope biscuits are to the ready, because biscuits is always good, isn't it? Oops, there we are. Cool, cool. Right, and we can pop some of this lot out of the way over there, and then we might vaguely be at a point of being able to do things. I sometimes like it when a plan comes together. Good evening Tracy, thank you for joining us this evening, much appreciated, because I know life can be quite busy. Let me just have a let's put those over there rather than on the next one. Good evening Jackie, thank you for joining us this evening. I think there's probably some late running lives, and the lovely Dawn Bibby will be live at 8 as well, so that means that we'll perhaps have a few less people watching than we might otherwise, but hey ho. So let's just see, how long's that going to be? Ish. Oh, let's go 9. Let's go 9.5, and then we can, I don't know, I am going to wait for it to bob on to just 1/2 past, but there we are. I've gone blind, lol. Why have you gone blind? Why have you gone blind, Martin? Has something happened with my internet? Yeah, anything's possible. Good evening, Julie. Thank you for joining us this evening. It's much appreciated. We're going to have a bit of fun. Let's go 9.5, and then we can sort that out. There we are. Cool. And then we can do some bits and pieces on here. Somewhere around there will do nicely. Because some of that back piece isn't going to be. It's the neon wool. They are rather bright. It has to be said, Martin. And they're very short. I don't remember 80s leg warmers being quite that short. Let me just have a little bit. Have I got room? The answer is of course not, because why would I have room? And if I don't move this up, you won't be able to see what we're doing. Thank you. So we are going to be making with lots of bits from the from this month's release from Madhatters. So we've got some steampunky-esque things with some flying creatures, because why not? Because the two go together. Good evening, Mary. Good evening, Sheila. I missed you too when you came in. Hello, Wendy. Thank you for joining us. So the papers are from my current favourite brand, which is Alchemy of Art by Karolina Bukowska, and these are from, appropriately named, Steampunk Dream. So this piece will make an upright, and so these two pieces layer together, and then there are two bits that need to slot in to here to allow it to go together nicely. And so I'm going to start by adding, instead of a paint effect, adding some paint paper to the back. Good evening, Wendy. You're saving ink, so you'll say hello to everyone. Very good. So so it's a rather good paper, and I like this range of papers because one side is very themed, very pretty, and one side is completely backgrounded, and that makes them uber versatile to my mind, a way of thinking. So I've just got a PVA craft glue. Use whichever one you have in your stash. You want one that is reasonably liquid, so don't put too much paint down, paper down right at the bottom, otherwise it's not going to slot nicely into your into your upright piece. So there we are. So we're just going to have a little good flick of these, and I'm not going to need to protect my paper, so it doesn't matter that I'm just using a PVA glue. It is literally just to get these down, so make sure I've got a good covering of that, and then I can pop that onto here, making sure I've covered everything right from the top, hopefully getting it reasonably straight. That bit won't matter because we've dropped it. I'm just going to give this a good burnish down. I will be trimming the edges anyway, and I've got some plans, and I thought, because not everyone is necessarily into painting all of their pieces, that I would do some papery bits, but I would also add in some floral pieces, some paint effects as well, so that we can mix it up a bit. Because why not? Why not indeed. Oh dear. Right, so we've got some bits and pieces. I don't think I want the brick wall, but I might use some of these for my florals. So they're on that corner, so let's just do a little bit of chopping down. Let's pop that over there. And of course I could have done all of these separately, but why not? So I'm deliberately using these, and the joy of double-sided papers, of course, is that you can use both sides. And I know there are all sorts of beautiful etched marks on these that I'm probably ignoring, but that's, you can use your products in lots of different ways, and I think it's really quite important to be able to demonstrate that we don't have to do everything with the same way. If we just think of things as a little bit outside the box, then that can be cool too. So there we are, and we'll find a different paper in a minute. We'll do these in a mix and match approach to life, so those ones can go down there. Let me see what we've got. So as I say, I'm using up quite like that, so let's just use some. I'm actually using up some papers. I've just got these papers. I love them. I love them, and I think it is so worth being able to have a play with your makes and do things slightly differently. So I'll pop that one onto there, because why not? Why have them all the same? There we are. We'll pop that one over to there. Now then, let us just sacrilegiously. There is a method in that. I actually want some of them with that other pattern on them. So let's just shuffle that down there. Yeah, they're good papers, aren't they? They are good papers. Cool. So I'm going to, there's a really cute little mouse there, so I'm going to, I might just try and preserve him for another project, because he doesn't work with quite with the theme of what of my pick makes tonight, but there we are. Cool. So that can go on there. If I can find a lid, they really are lovely papers, Julie. I have to say, I am so enjoying working with them. So that can go over there. That can go over there. We might have a little bit more. Do I want to risk it? Yes, I am going to risk it, because why not? It'll be a pain, but it's good to show people how to do these. So there we are. We'll do that. We'll do that. That can go down there. Having lidded my glue. Good evening, Anna. Why couldn't you find? Good evening, Sam. Why couldn't you find me? I went live in the event, as per the fact that I managed to set it up, so thought I would. I have to say, Julie, I have just walked from a design team that was dragging me down. It's taken a long time for me actually to do so, like a year plus of thinking about it, umming and ahhing, being very fed up, but I am so glad that has happened. There we are. So that one can go on to there. We'll be doing a lot of fussy cutting ultimately, so those can go on there. Good. That might be, oh dear. Well, I just think that Facebook is a wall unto itself, isn't it? I quite often nowadays have to remember where lives are that I want to watch, because the notifications don't happen. Just needing to yuck this pot. So the joy of having glue in a pot is it's easy for painting with, but it's a flipping nuisance when it comes to getting it everywhere and then not being able to shut the lid. So you pay as your money, takes your choice when it comes to this one. But if I don't get this glue that's glooped all the way around here off, then I won't be able to lid the pot, and then I shall be very unhappy going forward. Good evening, Elizabeth. Good evening, Sarah. Right, excellent. So that's now that lidded. Then we have some bits and pieces. Lots of bits and pieces. So there we are. Lots of bits to do. Right, brown, red brown, ochre. That will work. That will work. And I think these might be new pots. I've treated myself. I mean, I think it's just difficult, Sam. Yes, Wendy was here, Sam. I think it's just difficult, to be honest. I really don't know that there's any rhyme nor reason to it. And I got thrown out of one completely the other day, and that wasn't very logical, and certainly wasn't very polite to it. Good grief, I might be about to throw that pot away. So we're going to have a pseudo rust effect. I'm not going for real rust. I don't particularly want to. This piece is going to be mainly covered. We're going to break all the rules. We're just going to mix our colours. Now I'm going to dab into my pots, so yeah, that really upsets the, everyone, but actually it allows me to mix my colours and get lots of colour variation. And I'll be adding some wax to these, and anyway, so there we are. We'll just add some bits like that, and it will just allows me to, as I say, just mix, and I can stipple some bits of the ochre in and mix it through. Doesn't have to be, because rust isn't all one colour. So that will do. That will have a piece plonked on top of it ultimately anyway, so that can go up there. I've got about 65,000 things on the go, which is always good, isn't it? Because I'm in the middle of doing some DT stuff for Pentart at the moment. I keep away from that bottom, and just doing lots of different things, which is again all cool. So we're just going to brush and mix our colours so that we don't have it all flat coloured. Some of this will get covered, I'm very much aware of that. Don't want too much on the bottom of there. Now the advantage of using the MDF, of course, is that you can use things pointing in either direction. Ground floor services are going to be required tonight, but hey ho, I'm hoping that this won't take forever. I really am, but who knows, because lives take however long they want to take, particularly to make a nice project, I think. And we're going, as I say, I am going to be layering these, so it doesn't really matter. We'll merge the colours in. I think we might add a little bit more of that dark brown to that. It's gone a bit too yellow, but hey ho, there we are. Right, I do have some other planners. Where are you at this weekend? So this weekend I am at a painters conference in Surrey, which I think should prove quite nice. That's the intention, so that'll keep me busy. I have to travel tomorrow. It's going to take about 4.5 hours, I think, to get there, but hey ho. There we are. But it will be good, I think, overall. So yeah. Let's just have a quick splodgy, so we don't end up with here all night with me picking up all of these pieces. I'm deliberately not going for lots of texture. Good evening, Stacey. Thank you. Yeah. Wow. Least said about where Sam might have been, I think the better. I'm not a happy lady about all sorts of things, but there we are. Nothing to do with Sam, the lovely Sam, I hasten to add. More to do with other. But I'm going to get back on track and behave, and not, because generally you're better off saying as little as possible about things when you're not happy. You tend to say things that you might regret, and that's never a good idea. There we are. So this is my standard approach really to rust on things. It's to just splodge, because it sort of seems to work for me. And I've just got some shades, and I'll mix the colours. I'm not worried about them mixing it in. Some of the paint can be a bit lumpy, that will add a little bit of texture. There we are. I don't regret. I think think you might, I think you might know where I was going, and it's probably prudent for me not to divulge actually where my brain was, I think. Some things are definitely best left unsaid, I think. There we are. So that's those. Let's just add the third colour. I really do think I'm going to have to treat myself to a new pot. Mind you, I've got multiple pots. 21 kilos worth of pots of paint, to be more precise, arrived from my lovely Pentart family the other day. So I really do think I have more to get than I can manage. Sam, don't go getting interference paints. You'll know why I'm saying that. They're in a box ready for me to offload. Lovely. So that will be... Okay, so that's... Have I got a bit of yellow on everything? That looks like I don't have a bit of that on there now. So let's just mix these up a little bit where it's all gone a bit samey. And I will add some wax anyway, so the rest won't matter. That looks like it missed it. There we are. That will work. So that can go in there. Let's lid these. Right. That sad pot, it can go in the bin. That one can go there. That can be lidded. Julie, I haven't got a clue. I think that with the way Sally Telly is at the moment, that it's possibly not going to happen. I think you're going to have to look for other suppliers of your Pentart products, because quite frankly, with the show hours that are being offered, they're not viable. And decisions have to, I don't think the final decision's actually been made, but yeah, I've got the right colour lid on that one. But and Pentart then want me to keep my pots clean for photographing and the rest of it. However, I would say that Dali is back in action, so you should and will be placing an order to stock up some of her stuff. Not of all of the products, but certainly of the core products, and there are other suppliers. So yeah, Dawn Bibby has them, of course, so that's all cool, isn't it? Right, let's just have a little bit of a dry, because we've got too many bits on here, and then we can do the butterflies. Well, Karen, I don't think you're missing anything. I mean, I really do think that it is now hit the bottom of the bottom. If you want inspiration, Facebook Lives are absolutely the way to go. Sally Telly is just that, it's Sally Telly. Demos are an add-on and not an integral part of it. Well, what can I say to that is that, you know, when you tell you what to do, how you feel, or what to say, I assure you own stuff, no matter what it is, not the you'll ask her what you want if it is going. I hope the person will tell them, as it shouldn't be holding back for no one if it does hurt them. What would they reach? Okay. I won't change for anyone, Stacey. I just think that sometimes you have to do stuff. Yeah, LeBlanche is a fabulous supplier, and her shipping is fantastic. And if you can avoid the nasty customs import team, so much the better. It's just never quite guaranteed, is it? But she's a fabulous supplier. Dali is back. She's recently moved to New Mill, so about an hour and a half, well, about 20 to 25 minutes from me. When she's away, it'll be me packing your orders. That'll be fun. That will be fun. So yeah, I think you just have to hunt around really to find what you like. But for inspiration for projects, I do Facebook Lives, and actually, to be fair, Karen, I can think of nothing better than occasionally going to a face-to-face to see some yes, so there we are. So those, that might allow me to get some of this kit and caboodle out of the way a little bit. Because at the moment we've got too much stuff onto the desk, too much brown, and cannot see wood for trees. So let's just pop these out of the way, and then I can do them. So LeBlanche is a huge buyer of Pentart. All of her mediums, I think, pretty much are actually Pentart mediums, ladies. And then she's just fab at sourcing lots of different things from lots of different suppliers. Her moulds might be expensive, but boy are they good, and they're durable, and you'll never, yeah, they just won't break. They'll survive anything. And it doesn't matter what you put in them, which is even better, because some of the others really don't like you putting hot stuff into them at all. And whilst you can put resin in some of the softer moulds, it's not what the company recommends. So I think you just have to accept it. But, and as you know, I do use soft moulds, but I do like the LeBlanche ones very much. Thank you. I've worked very hard, Karen. Yeah. Yes, absolutely, Stacey. It's MDF. This is from Wendy's latest, last release to Sally Telly. So I just thought, you've seen me do that quite often. So let's find some decent brushes. That'll be fairly miracle-ish, because I don't look after them, as we all know. So I have some different paints here. So this is delicate metallic. I did a webinar about using sparkling gel. It's a beautiful colour. Let me see if I can find a nicer brush than that one. That might work better. That one will definitely work better. So there we are. So we're just gonna. So this is a has a metallic paint with a silver undertone. There is a comparable make, which are called Glamour, and I've got one of those. And the Glamour paints have a gold undertone. So the delicates are all silver based, and the Glamours are silver based. Good evening, Sam. Samantha Thompson. It's lovely to see you here. I've loved your makes recently for the Decoupage Queen release. They have been fabulous. Very, very lovely. I saw some of your makes for, I think it was Funky Fossil. They were equally lovely. I think you might have got your crafty mojo back, which would be. So I hope to see more of what you're making. So I'm just going to keep these fairly simple. I can draw the lines back in with the pen later on. Yeah, I've got some Pebeo stuff as well. I like some of their products, not all. But I use those quite a lot. I like the fact that the colours and the paints split, so you get different effects. There we are. So we're going to have so there's lots of different ways that it's there. So some of it will be etched it. Some of the details for Madhatters it's etched in even, as they are on these, and some of them you can buy add-on packs with leaves and flowers, some, you know, depending on what you need, which again I think gives you lots of versatility, because if you had all the shapes already integral to a lantern, then it is what it is. Whereas if you want, you can buy, you know, you can add on your autumn leaves or your summer florals or your Halloween elements or your rusty elements, depending on your need, by just getting the plain thing. So if you have a look on the embellishment packs, there's not nearly always something that will work for you. There's loads and loads of different designs on the website. Might take a little bit of working through, because sometimes they're not always so easy, but if you put the name of what you want in, and you can see I'm not actually bothering to prime any of this lot at all. Yes, Karen, I think plain is more versatile. So I now have greenish silver, which is a really pretty delicate, and this one, which is a glamour, which is greenish gold. So I just thought we'd mix it up really tonight. So there we are. Just wanted to have some different, you know, just bring in some different colours. I don't think I can get the multicoloured oil on water effect with a single product, but I'm going to mix it up a little bit. There we are. I'm sorry ladies if it gets noisy, because the heavens have decided to open, and as we know, I craft in my conservatory. So let me put this back into airlines, then people might be able to see what I'm doing. So yeah, so this is the silvery turquoise, and it's just got a very subtle colour mix into it, and I have to say I like it a lot when I want a little bit of shimmer. Can't do much about the sound effects, I am afraid, Karen. They're Mother Nature's sound effects, at least, nothing inappropriate. There we are. So this could prove fun. Let's see where we go to. Let's see where we go to. Meant to be symmetrical, aren't they? That possibly might not happen tonight. There we are, because they're not quite symmetrically engraved, and that's also okay. There we are. All adds to the fun, doesn't it, when we have things that are unique. And I can tidy those up with a black pen, that's always good. Yeah, me, Karen, but I'm just gonna have to wait, aren't I, till after the live. There we are. There we are, that's that one. Let's just give that one hopefully not. Hopefully not, Sarah. I'm not a great fan of thunder and lightning, it has to be said. Sound of the rain? No problems. Now then, I'm going to have to clean that. Purple rain. Yeah, have I got purple? I haven't got purple out, but they do purple. Maybe I should have got a purple out. So this is the glamour. So this is going to be a sparkly project. Yeah, it's not that often I will use sparkle, but sometimes, it's just sometimes it's the right thing to do. I think it's different things for different people, isn't it? Did anyone see the blue supermoon last night? I didn't realise, because you describe it as a blue moon, so I'm outside looking for a blue moon last night, and then I learnt something today. Blue moon means that it's because there have been 2 full moons in the month. Nothing to do with it being blue. Supermoon obviously is big. It's the big moon, but really, why call it a blue moon when it's not actually blinking blue? That's just designed to have us all confused. And let's face it, it doesn't take very much to have me confused. Okay, Martin, yes, once in a blue moon, I guess that does make sense. Thanking you for telling me the obvious. I've got my thing. Right, let us see what we can get into here without making too much of a mess. I might just go and find a third colour in a minute for this one. On the other hand, we might not. There we are. So there, I just like how bright and shiny these are. And you see, you can look at the state of this, honestly. Let me just shovel some of that mess off the top of that. You can tell me, before I get told off by Pentart for not looking after my products. And I have to say, as they send me them, I think it's perfectly reasonable for them to tell me off, really. I don't look after them. And they very definitely don't like it when I try to do when I photograph my DT stuff for them and I don't have it. Right, there we go. So let's just add. There we are. There we are. So this is a sparkling gel it's called Thorn Gold, but the colour on the lid, just to confuse me, because it always does, is green, but it's actually a very pretty brown with a gold undertone, which is why I'm using that, because it's keeping to the shimmer of the paints that I've used. So that was the logic for that. I occasionally think about things and what I want to use. There we are. And then we might have some paper trimming to do. I'm rather hoping that the glue will have dried and I can then add quite comfortably, or cut what I want and distress the edges. So I'm hoping tonight to say that you don't, because my life the other week was very much about, taking the MDF and painting it, and to show that actually you don't have to have great colour blending skills. You can just, you can use your paints. There we are. Right, that can go there. They are rather pretty. They are rather pretty. Unfortunately, I don't have a second set of those paints, Sam. Otherwise, you could have some of them, but you'll just have to come over. Right, now then. Excuse excuse me just while I go to the second story of my house to grab a whole mountain of bits and pieces, because we need some chopping up. Some chopping is required. So this is sharp knife time. Okay, do not try this with a blunt knife. You want a fresh blade when you're doing this, and ideally you make sure that you have your papers completely dry, and then turn things around. I find starting in a corner, going out works. She says, there we are, just stick that out the way, because we've got quite a bit of this to do, and I deliberately didn't do it all ahead of time because, well, partly because I think that's cheating, isn't it, when people want to see how you do things, and also it means I can change my mind as I want to, which we all know I'm capable of doing. So there we are. Excellent. That piece can go there. Nail file to the floor. Let's just edge this off. So when you're cutting, if you've got extra, then angle your sanding block 45 degrees to the edge and pull it down in one direction. Don't be tempted to scrabble it up and down, because you're more likely then to lift your pieces. I do it when I'm being naughty, really. And I like emery boards because they allow me to get into the nooks and the crannies quite nicely. And I could cover the back with another piece of paper. For the sake of tonight, I'm not going to. I'll paint it and worry it about later on or after the live. I quite often like to do double-sided projects, but that's definitely a bit much for a live. So I'm going to use excuse me, there we are, let's get that. I'm going to use an archival ink, and this is ground espresso, because it's a permanent ink and that's what I want, but rather than a distress ink for this, and it's a nice, really nice dark brown. There we are. So that piece is going to go onto there, and I know that piece has to sit onto there, and I'm going to add just a little bit of some wax along some of these areas. A lot of it isn't going to be seen, so I'm not hugely worried, and I've got lots of texture and lots of shimmer there now from that. So there we are, that can go there, and that will also help me get rid of or control some of these other pieces whilst I carry on doing the next pieces. So just a little bit on my finger. Fingers are a good tool for doing this. I can then glue these into place, and these can be dry. It is an upright one, Sam. It is absolutely an upright or a stand-up, depending on who you want to call, where you want to call it. So yeah, it is. Yeah. We're going to have fun and games with glue tonight. Oh, and my nice decent scissors aren't in here. That's always helps, doesn't it? There we are. The tube is magic glue, Karen. It's just a PVA glue that comes with quite a fine tip applicator. I shouldn't say this, but the ones from Oakwood Archer tend to burst. I think, yeah, some of them are in plastic tubes and some of them are in metal tubes. The ones from 14 Craft Bar don't seem to, but the ones from, I've had a few of the ones I've bought from Oakwood who have. So that piece is going to go onto there, and we're going to be layering these up. I just want to pop this on, and I will be fair and always be honest about the products that I'm using and whether I like them or whether I don't like them, because I think that's, you know, that is so important for my own integrity. I need to know that what I've got will work. My preference, I would almost certainly go for Pentart's Express Glue, to be fair, because I know that's 100% reliable 100% of the time. So those can go onto there. I'll pop that onto there. But right, now the next bit, this bit might be one that drives me slightly more difficult because I've got to get the insert out here. But again, that's a problem I think most people will have, won't they, when they're covering. The easy option, of course, is just to paint pieces like this with the slots. But then you don't want to get paint into the slot because they will, you know, the MDF will expand, and then you will struggle to get the next pieces in. So I'm going to do what I said is, so into the corner, down, into the corner, down, turn it round, into the corner, down, into the corner, down. And these might be slightly problematic because it's little, there we are, and that will help. And now I can just slot this through. And that's how I find it the easiest thing, because you don't really want extra paint in the or paper in the slot because you're going to pop things together. No need to behave. No need to behave. Only those of us in the know will know what she's meaning. So it's, there we are. We'll pop that into there, pop that into there, pop that into there. There we are. So that's just an easy way, and the emery board will fit in nicely. And if you've taken too much, you can always just made it too tight. You can just use your emery board to file a little bit out if you want to. So this is the 2-layered base that I really love. I just think that it gives you a very subtle point of difference to many. The etched lines will help you put stuff together and get it exactly into the right place. But it just makes for a more professional plinth, I think, than a single layer. Personal opinion, of course. But, you know, we're all entitled to our own opinions, aren't we, about things? So we're going to keep things true, and we're going to keep things the same coming forward. There we are. So we'll just add. So I don't like white edges when I'm using paper. I like the double bases as well. So adding ink really does make a difference to it. I can add a little bit into there, a little bit into there, cover that up. I just think it works, and I've made a decision to really concentrate on using up lots of the bits that I have. I can see a bit in there that I don't want in there. because it will make it hard for gluing the next bit in. So let me just hoik that bit out of there. There we are, that'll be better. So I'm going to, to use what I have. So hence the assortment of different glues tonight, because I'm using what I have. They all work, they'll all do the job. But I want to use them all up, so that can go onto there. There are etched lines on here, making it easy, and if I turn it upside down, I can see that I've now got it lined properly, because I've got two pieces to slot into there. Right, so that can now go down there. Ladies, now the fun starts. Oh, yeah, well, there we are. Now the fun really starts, because we've got half a dozen of these to get out now. Because did I decide to make my life easy and just paint these? No, why would you make your life easy and just paint something? Yeah. Will I have remembered how I put everything together on my sample piece? No. Does it matter? Absolutely not. As long as ultimately I know I've used all the pieces, I shall be completely happy, and if I don't, I'll have some extra bits, and that will also be just okay, because life is too short to stress about these things. Right, excellent. So, but we do have a few of these to get through. It won't take forever, as you can see. It's not impossible actual to do things like this. So let's just and this is a method that will work for, you know, any different shaped or sized piece. So I guess you could scan your shape in to a scan and cut possibly, and then have it cut, you know, cut them that way. But here we are. We have got a bit of a rinse and repeat, I'm afraid, for these, but that's okay. Hopefully it won't have everyone too bored. I think it doesn't matter, does it? You know, you do the finish that works for your project. I'm a great believer in you do what's right for you. I just thought tonight I would try and, you know, show that that you don't always have to paint everything. You know, if you're, you know, and maybe take the fear factor out of it. You know, I know, you know, blending and mixing colours is something that I am definitely getting better at, but it wouldn't be my first instinct, and so I think, you know, I suspect I'm not alone, and that there are plenty more people who, you know, who again would feel that they, you know, that their painting skills maybe weren't quite up to the mark, and that providing you know how to you know, how to get things covered properly and then cut, then you know, and sanded, actually it doesn't matter then, does it? Because you can then have them, you know, covered in paper relatively easily. Yeah, it takes a bit of time. Yes, it'll take a bit of paper, but you know, if paper crafting is your preferred option, then I'm hoping that this live will show you that you can use your MDF with lots of paper quite happily. It doesn't always just have to be. Filing the edges definitely makes things look nicer because it gets rid of the edges, and it also helps push the paper on at the edges so that there's less chance of them coming off. Here we are. Yeah, I know that feeling, Gaynor, very well. Get that one an awful lot. I do. Oh yeah, we've not got so many to deal with. I ought to put the lid on that before we really have a pickle, wouldn't I? Yeah, my children, well, I've still got mine living at home, and I love them to bits, but boy do they, is Bank of Mother abused on occasions. Hey ho, I guess that's the joy of having a mother who had a well-paid job and who's now retired. Yeah. I really do love that cute little mouse, but he's not going in this project, but I am going to make sure I keep him for another project because he's just altogether gorgeousness. Right, and then let's just and if you notice, if I'm struggling, I push the paper down away from me rather than pull, because that way again it makes life better. The papers are lovely. They are Steampunk Dreams from Alchemy of Art, and to the best of my knowledge there is one company in the UK person in the UK who has them, and then if you're happy to ship in from Europe, there's lots of companies there, including 14 Craft Bar in the Republic of Ireland. And she manages to get stuff out to me without me incurring the visits from the nasty taxman or big bills from the post office. So that's always good, isn't it? There we are. Let's just cover these. Okay, so if it's sold out at Sarah's, she might be able to get it in for you. Otherwise, have a Mr. Google search. I know Carolina is coming over to Ireland in next weekend, so I will ask her if she's got them still in stock, because it's possible, because it's their first anniversary of a shop for Carolina. It's possible that she's only doing one print run of things, I guess, is the honest answer. I don't know. I will ask her. As I say, I will be seeing her next week, so next weekend, because I'm teaching out in Ireland using some of her rice papers, which is good. But if you like, what I would say is, if you like one range from her, that all of the different collections have a similar vibe, different theme, but a similar vibe. There we are. So that can go over there to be used another day. So these are wonky flowers, steampunk flowers, intentionally, and that's cool. And I'm going to layer them offset and stack them up, and some of them will be layered and some of them won't be layered. There we are. There we are. Right, we are getting there, ladies. We are getting there. And gentlemen. Because once we've done this, it's a question of assembling. Maybe putting some stringy bits in, maybe not putting some stringy bits in. Who knows where it will take, where my brain will take me. It's a dangerous place. It's a Don't you worry, my darling. You just look after yourself. That is more important. You've been doing an awful lot. And I think you might have a busy few days ahead of you, so you need to be in good shape and good form. Yeah, we're not going to be too much longer, I don't think, because the assembling won't take very long. It really won't take very long, because we've done a lot of it's now done. We've just got 4 more of these to chop out. And then it's a layer, and yeah, so it's not with a bit more wax, so it's not impossible. Anyone else is waiting. I don't know, what do people think? Is 8 o'clock too late for a live? Or does 8 o'clock allow you to watch other lives in other sites and then come over to join? I don't know who's trying to message, but hey ho, I apologise for my thing going. You think it's a good time, Jan? I think it is. It doesn't interfere with tea for us. You know, I've got children who still come home from work, and and by the time they've got home, it's often quite late. You like 8? It's okay for you, Martin. Okay, so that's lovely feedback. There's more likes there than dislike, I think. I just think 8 o'clock. It's difficult, isn't it? No worry, Karen, you catch up when you're able to, or not if you don't really like the project. I will post the rest of the project eventually on social media. Anytime's good for you, Sheila. For me, I think it's difficult, isn't it? Because there are several groups who do their lives at 7 of an evening, with the aim for them to finish around 8. So that's why I sort of picked 8 o'clock. It's certainly a very good time for me, though, and 9:30 isn't too, I aim to finish for 9:30. I don't think that's past too early for most adults' bedtimes. I know my bedtime tends to be fairly early, but even for me. Yeah, I think it is just about trying to pick a time that suits the majority of the group members, really, and I do think that's can be somewhat of a challenge, to be fair. I thought that between sort of Dirty Gertie, Dolly Dimples, there's Oakwood, there's quite a few that are finished, you know, starting at 8, finished, you know, are starting at 7, which is why I, you know, I don't think you can pick a time that will suit everyone, whatever you do. But I know for me it's a good time, because it allows me to eat with the family. We still we always eat, you know, meals are done as a family in this. So the early ones, the one that really messes me up is Pentart's, because Pentart, bless them, like us to go live at 6, and I totally get why, because 6 o'clock in the UK is 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, depending on where you are in Europe, and of course predominantly the viewers for those are and I'd have to redo it, Debbie, on my own page, I think, because it's using products from 14 Craft Bar, not supplied by Wendy. Though I could do a variation of it using one of Wendy's bases, I think. I'll have a little think about that, because it is possible. She does have something similar. And it's not, it wouldn't take a silly amount of time to make on a live, I don't think. So I tend not to go live on my own page. I tend to do my lives in other groups intentionally. Right, I seem to think we might be getting there. Cool. So, now to remember quite how we have things. Right, I'll be doing that, and let's pop a little one onto there, and I know it wasn't that one under there, it was that big one went underneath there, that big one went underneath there, and we had that one underneath there. Maybe we didn't have that. There we are. Pop that over there. Pop that. It's a wonky donkey look, so it doesn't really matter. Right, can go up on there, and then right. Let's go from there. So, this is about layering your pieces, because I'm deliberately wanting to lift this up. And that means I need 2 pieces underneath there, like that. I want another one of those over here, and that means I need a piece under here to stabilize it, if that makes sense. So that's the thought, the way my brain is working, is that when I'm doing this, I'm working out which pieces I'm needing to. Let's just put the text up the right way, not that that's going to matter hugely. From there, did I actually have, I think I might have popped that one onto there. I have a feeling that actually what I did was do that and that and that. So let's just pop that into there. Maybe I didn't. works better. So that clearly needs another piece under there still. So we can pop that there, and we can pop part of a flower poking out from there, and that can go there. So let's stabilise that with another piece of that there. We'll add another one of those underneath there. There we are. As I say, I know when I did this I had all of the pieces in here, so hey ho. So let's see where we're up to. And we'll pop you onto there. Pop you there, like so, just like so. And we'll pop another one of those underneath into there. Now I need to be careful I don't cover that bit. There we are. And we might do that, and that will work. That can go onto there. He's going to go on there. And you're going to go onto there. So let's see, I might choose not to have, or are we going to pop that underneath there? Let's just stick that piece there, those pieces there. Right, do I like that? Possibly not. Don't think I do like that one there. Let's just pop that, it can poke off the edge of there. That can go onto there, quite like that, quite like that. I know what I did have. I had another flower underneath there. I think I did. There we are. And that means I will have had another piece of you underneath there, and you underneath there. Hey, hey, there we are. We are getting there. That can go under there. That piece can go there. That's, I think, better. I like. So let us start sorting some of this out. So let's just pop a little bit of that over onto there. I take it you like what I've just done. So that piece can now slide under there. So what you'll have noticed is I'm not afraid of messing, and I'm not afraid of layering. Okay. Because that's what allows me to create my depth and my detail. And I might have been a little bit heavy-handed with that, but hey ho, that's okay. Thank you, Jan, that's lovely. I do try. I wouldn't say that I always succeed in inspiring, but I do try. There we are, pop that under there. So I always, as I say, I start out my lives, and I've always had a bit of a plan in place whenever I do my lives as to where I'm going. Bit of an idea, bit of a mess, but then they evolve always. Always they evolve. Because I just don't think that you can always get it exactly the same each and every time. But you can see how by doing this it's allowing me to just play, pop my pieces, and I'm do flowers have cogs in them? Absolutely not. Does it matter that I am using artistic license and building my layers? Absolutely not. It doesn't at all, does it? That might be a mistake, but hey ho. Right. Just put a big splodge of that onto there. That can sit there. This piece can now have a good splodge of that onto there. Let's just get the words up the right way. There we are. And I could put that on the wonk, but it's not. To do that, I'm going to need to add that with some gel medium, because clearly if I try and add it just with the glue, it's not going to hold, because it's not going to have enough areas of contact. But the gel medium will allow that to sit and catch onto there. So now then, let us now tackle this lot. Thank you, Debbie. So this is literally just some wax. It is a proper wax rather than a synthetic one. So again, I think it is one of those things. It smells of oranges, so it's actually nice to use, which is always a positive. I've still got a piece left. Well, hey ho, there we are. One that I missed. We'll get that in somewhere. We will get it in somewhere. There we are. See, as I say, I'm determined I'm going to use up lots of the stuff that I've got lurking around, and so rather than always having to have the new and the latest. Thank you, Anna, much appreciated. Let us I'm gonna pop that into there just to fill some space and help stabilize that flower, which can then have a big blob of glue every which way. Literally, I'm just using that. Let's get the word right. I think that word writing is then up the correct way. There we are. Pop that into just up there. Don't worry, I have plenty of glue lurking. Really, I do. Right. Let's shovel another one of those into there. There we are. That can go into there. So those pieces are literally just offcut from they're the canvas spaces. Yeah, that's going to be okay. That's going to be okay. So let's there we are. Right, let us take another big glob of you. So I'm trying to be a very good girl and just use up lots of my bits and pieces that I have lying around, because it's too easy, I think, just to have, just to acquire too many bits and pieces. And Right, that needs to shuffle over there a little bit. That needs to shuffle over there a little bit. Those words are okay. So we're going to pop that over there. Over there. And he can go over there. And we'll work out where to slot that last piece in. Ham sandwich walks into a barn and orders a pint. Martin, you get worse. I am loving your sense of humour. Yeah, I think I'm just going to pop that one onto there. There we are. Cool. So where did I get my word from and my title? This comes from my stash. Do I want it that size? Answer on a postcard? No. So let us just grab. Never managed to get these straight, ladies, but hey ho. And of course when you chop them down you then end up with uneven sized bits at each end. So let's do that. And get rid of the so don't forget. That's good. I thought that had gone walkabout in amongst that. To fly. So let's just get those glued down with whatever glue we've got to hand. So don't we'll have it vaguely straight. Now I won't necessarily be able to do this and show you on the live, but let's have a go. Let's just pop a little bit of glue into there because I can't actually stand this up at the moment. Just shuffle this in. And it will go because it went beforehand. So I will slot that in when I can actually give it a good bash. But tonight, if I try and give it a good bash, some bits I might go for. Yeah, some bits are gonna. Mind you, that's because that hasn't got any glue on it, so that's always a good start, isn't it? Right, I will get that one in once I can actually. Once it has a chance to all dry out. There we are. Pop that in, back into there. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. One completed piece. I hope that you like it. That's all we're going to do for tonight, my darlings. So take care. Look after yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. Above all else, enjoy what you're up to. And I shall see, I think Sam is going to do a live, not this coming weekend, but the following weekend, and then normal services will resume after that, I think. So stay safe. Bye for now.